Still looking for their own position 1. They do still have options like the Luna available, which has been extremely kind of popular, I think is the word, throughout these qualifiers. I don't think Luna does very well against the Ursa, to be fair. I think Ursa has overall had a pretty damn good time against Luna. But it still is even enough if LGD want to just go down for that comfort pick. See what Shiro does want.
I think he's playing the Lina. No, they'll actually keep Setsu on that Lina alright. They go with a Weaver, and we see this pop out a couple of times already. Usually against something like the DOTA, and this is the hero that LGD ran when they got pressured onto the high ground. I'm wondering if Shiro changes his item build. Instead of that Desolator Rush, like Falcon Blade Maelstrom still has the same impact in fights, a little bit slower in the push, but much faster in farm. It's risky when you go Deso, right? Like, that's the one thing that we've seen from LGD. Shiro got a Deso, had 0 charges, just opted to keep playing this push with his team, pushing tier 2 into high ground, and then they got punished. I think that it might feel a little bit too tempo heavy when you go Desolator and not find kills. So I'm keen to see if LGD has learned. I would say that I honestly think the drafts are pretty even. Like, there is a really big ace factor here for LGD with Magnus, but I think the counter action from Azure with a Winter Wyvern of Chanming is pretty solid. So it's all down to probably information game. I think that's been a big part of the games we saw yesterday. It's all about, like, who gets to get some good ward placements, who gets to spot out the smokes, and in that sense, it's mildly easier for Azure, especially as the game scales on late. You can just use Thunder God's Rat to figure out the positions of LGD to break them up. But LGD does have, again, a lot of early threats, like just the Skewer back, the Toss back. They've got some burst damage on hand here on LGD. And for Azure, when you're running a Doom, you are going to be prone to sitting back and farming on that off lane. And Bach's going to have to just build up into what we've normally seen Veil into Shivas, and then try to have an impact from there. But before that point, you are pretty guaranteed that the Doom will just camp that top lane. So it's only going to be really 4, probably just 3 active heroes on Azure. Whereas for LGD, there's some really good tempo. Again, like even the Weaver, we've seen stuff like Urn build-ups for the Weaver before on safe lane. So you can opt for a very fast way of playing here on LGD.
You absolutely can. We'll go into it. Game number 1 of this best of 3 lower bracket final. Winner will be able to proceed through to the grand final of the closed qualifier. Loser will have to stay home. We'll see how it does go. There's sadly no prize for coming 2nd and 3rd. It is all about the first place. It's the side of LGD. I've never heard of that voice line before for some reason. I have not heard that.
Yeah, a little insider info for chat. That's exactly the sound Mike makes when we're just sitting around the studio.
That is true. It is eerily accurate, John. I thought I'd heard that sound somewhere.
Why don't you have that voice line, Mike?
Right,
huh?
That's a good question.
Time to play some Ursa.
That's a good question. Didn't know it existed, but there you go. Now we do. Maybe a level 1 team fight to break out. LGD, they are setting up here for the bottom side of the bounty routes. Because Azure probably do not want that level 1 fight. Their draft does not look too great for it. Both teams very patiently waiting as Bach is just continuously spinning in circles, making himself very dizzy.
I love seeing that. You know, just getting that APM up, Bach. Boost your stats.
He's just composing another symphony here, Bach. So GD will move in. Bach, front line for his team. Ooh. They are actually going to go for the fight. PYW kind of getting left behind here, and PYW's just down. All right, I mean, I thought it would go the other way for LGD, but they kind of just wanted to retreat. Azure, they go right for it, and well, they'll secure first blood already.
Yeah, it's a really good start for the side of Azure. They get the even bounty rune trade as well, so they don't miss out on anything. Great flame break coming out there from FY to set up. And, well, that's already some good value there from the Bat Rider support that normally doesn't feel the best, but with a start like that, you're going to be more than happy here. Taking a look at that mid, of course, Setsu on the Lina up against Ori on the Zeus. Again, does feel pretty alright for Lina. You have really good range. You should be out of the zapping range of Ori. You're not going to care too much about Heavenly Jump as well. You will focus on the farm. It's a little bit more painful for Ori to get some free harassment back with the Arc Lightning. It's more costly for him. The attack range of Lina is far superior at 670 versus 380. So Setsu always has free hits to put in without expending his mana, focusing the mana on the creep wave. And it leads to a better time for the Lina. This is not the smoothest ride for a Zeus. Not the worst lane, but really not that kind of lane where you can expect that 8-minute phylactery. Not something Ori can kind of gun for here.
It certainly doesn't feel that way. We'll see what Ori does do. I mean, at the very least for the Zeus, I don't think he minds too much about losing the lane. I think it is just literally get the phylactery and then make your plays from there. But we'll see if he can kind of get a decent timing here as, of course, in the side lanes down a bottom lane, YU Smile and Shiro will be up against FY and Buck. Shiro should have a pretty good time. You know, the Weaver, I think, was a pretty strong pick here against the draft of Azure Ray. You don't really have the greatest answers towards the Weaver this game. And Shiro, at the least for the laning stage, I think should be very safe.
Yeah, should be feeling fine. I do like the item change-up as well. He is queuing up the Falcon Blade. So trying to go for maybe a more farm-oriented build or perhaps build into something like the Urn afterwards. Either the Maelstrom or Urn is really the most viable builds for the Weaver when you do go for the Falcon Blade first. I think it does put a lot of pressure on Bach and FY. Like, these are your big single-target pieces of control to kind of catch out the Weaver. Maybe the Curse as well from Chan Ming, but ideally, I think you go with Doom on Weaver, and he's left as a sitting duck. Shiro's going to have to consider stuff like the Lincolns down the line, which is still viable, but we'll kind of manipulate that so long as the vision is there. It's also mildly awkward for Shiro later on, playing into Zeus. They've always got free True Sight with the Lightning Bolt, so it's not as easy to weave your way in and out, but at least for now in the laning phase, not going to be a threatening lane. Shiro's just free to farm, and you know, you're going to have to waste resources in FY if you want to try that chase, although Y...
Bit of a chase now. Y getting very low on the Venge is actually going to go down. So Bark able to secure one. They don't bother wasting their time trying to go after Shiro, but they will pick themselves up a very easy Venge kill. That is the one target I think Azure Ray could certainly hope to get.
Yeah, it's a nice little pickup. They do manage to start to build up now on Bach just a little bit more, and it's an important kill to find when you're running a Bat Rider as well. Just soaking more EXP always feels great for the Bat. Not a support here that likes to fall behind. The early aggression for AR, definitely welcome. Have to watch your positioning on that Venge.
Again. Chase is on. YU Smile is not out of the woods yet. The chase will continue. FY and Buck seeing the opening will take down the Venge. That's going to be a walk of shame back for YU Smile, that they might at least get FY, but no. Shiro has to be so careful. Buck is still around with that mana burn. And Shiro, he cannot follow up. FY even confident enough to go for the full creep wave pool. Even with this low HP pool, he'll walk away with it. And again, for YU Smile, he has to walk of shame back.
Yeah, that is a massive loss for LGD. The solo lane for Shiro should be fine, but he can't contest the pull. He can't stop this EXP from pouring out for the side of Azure Ray. And it's just going to be quite a good moment here for the side of Azure Ray. FY doing so much work, just contesting every single time. They already have that forward ward in LGD, but it's not enough to stop. They can't do too much with that info here. So far, a pretty dominating start from Azure Ray. Almost every lane going their way, even at mid lane for Ori, despite, you know, not feeling the best with harassment back. He is still finding equal farm with Alina. So Setsu's not able to fully shut down the Zeus, but at least prevent maybe some rotations onto that mid. And Shiro has to be so careful.
Well, they have a TP in from PYW. Looks like PYW wants to try and salvage this lane as FY is getting aggressive again onto YU Smile. PYW hoping FY would get a little bit deeper. We'll still get an avalanche off. Does get the toss back onto YU Smile, but the Firefly has been popped. He'll go for a run and FY eventually will just be fine. This rotation from PYW, I mean, it's nice thinking, but the opening is just not there. So unless they're planning to just tri-lane the safe lane now, it's a bit of a waste of time here for PYW.
And this movement does not feel good for a Tiny. You know, it's almost like the Bat Rider, very sensitive on the level timings here for the Tiny support. Just doesn't find anything for his trouble, isn't able to just camp top and soak. will be able to try to move on to mid. I mean, Avalanche Toss is ready, at least enough mana for both with the Enchanted Mango on hand. But jumping Ori, if he just saves his Heavenly Jump, it's not an easy task to get done.
Ori, speaking of the devil, going to fight over the power in here with Setsu. FY joining in. Setsu, he is completely surrounded. He'll at least get the kill onto FY, but it is going to cost his own life. He'll get something for his trouble, but it's not really the greatest of kills as PYW now also being chased. He'll be okay to retreat. They do run out of mana on the Zeus, so Ori will not be able to continue, but you got the main priority target in the Lina.
Yeah, it's a big win for the side of Azure again. At least, again, not the worst thing in the world for Setsu, finding something for his trouble, getting the Invis rune as well, so could try to set up for some movement. We'll see if that's something that comes into play. Instantly pops the Invis, but there are sentries here, so it's really not going to do much for Setsu, unfortunately. Azure in complete control with the movements onto mid. You've got the freest lane for low. There's no threat here from New this time around. Creep wave has been balanced towards the middle of the lane. No opportunities for the Skewer back going in as a melee hero up against the Ursa, as well as is a death sentence if you're not careful. So it is leading to more conservative play from New. Does have level 6 up early, but no one can connect to him, really. I mean, yeah, this is stemming back from that earlier movement. PYW does at least have level 4, but you're not comfy in trying to make plays yet on LGD. You just have to fall back and soak up here.
Yeah, you certainly do. This Ursa's finding a lot of farm low, top of the CS board. His bottom lane, Shiro out of mana, being chased down again, and he is gone. Bark and FY will not leave this bottom lane alone. This mana burn creep that Bark has picked up has been so effective in just keeping the Weaver's mana pool low. And now poor old YU Smile, he knows he's dead. Bark will turn his back on him. Doesn't even look at him as he dies.
Ah, I love this from the side of Azure.
This is what I was saying, by the way. John, hold on a minute.
Oh.
PYW, mid lane, will go on to Ori, and Ori is going to get blown up, so they do get a very nice kill. Tianming going to show up now on the Wyvern, trying to get some damage off onto PYW and Setsu, but cannot secure the kill. But I just wanted to take a second to say, FY on this Batrider, in my opinion, has been the one player that's made the support Batrider look good when he's not playing with Centaur.
No, absolutely. 100%. He's the only one that makes this Batrider look good. Yeah. Everyone else has looked a little bit shaky. They are trying to get this chase on Tianming.
They will. FY is going to show up as well, but Tianming almost certainly dead, as now Shiro is going to show up from the backside. Oh. Doom is going to be committed though. Buck, he has found Setsu on the Lina. Setsu again going to drop. It's not a good trade. I mean, you get 2 supports, but that's your mid laner.
Yeah, I think you have to take that trade on LGD. In some ways, it's good. The fact that Shiro finds both kills is really important for this Weaver's early timings. So it's honestly not the worst. The Lina timing's going to be stalled out. Net worth is starting to drop. But it's still number 3 in net worth. So you're not bleeding out too much. Again, you're looking more to enable this Weaver rather than focusing on what you've lost here for LGD. So you are building up to a certain extent. But AR, they're still holding on to a really nice lead. I mean, this Ursa is just left unchecked. The Battle Fury time for low going to be really clean here. They are trying for a smoke movement up top. No wards from Azure to spot this. They will have to dip behind the tower.
Yeah, but look
at Tianming. A little bit tricky.
Tianming might actually break the smoke before Low gets caught out. In fact, Low, he's going to move in, but Low does not like what he sees. 3 heroes around him. He does have Tianming to help out, though. As New, now the one in danger. Think about the RP, does commit it, but Low can keep chasing. He got the Enrage off in time. Shiro even showing up now with the Cold Embrace. Going to keep the Ursa safe. Shiro cannot finish the job yet, but he will continue chasing him down. Low, can he actually get out? I don't think so. He will turn around and try to fight, but he will go down eventually. So it is going to be a 1-for-2 trade in the favor of Azure. They do find the Ursa in the end, though. So LGD, they commit a lot for that kill, but they will get it.
Yeah, again, the big benefit is that Shiro is finding these pickoffs. The Weaver is online very early. We're seeing that kind of tempo that I believe LGD wanted to bring out yesterday in their series, just couldn't manage to grasp around it. And Shiro is doing a lot of work. Mind you, it is costing you a lot. Magnus can at least recover New, going for the Orchid pickup first, wanting that lockdown onto something like the Ursa early on. A 2k lead still stands for Azure. Could have gone a little bit better for LGD, but you take what you can get. You slow down Low just a tad, although...
Oh, Shiro. Shiro getting caught with his pants down up the top lane. He still has a Sakuchi, but FY is out with the lasso. Shiro, no, he can't make it. It's a cheeky little combination against the Weaver. Just the curse into the lasso, a perfect setup. And with that, I mean, you know, they were going pretty well, taking down that Ursa just a little bit earlier on, but now losing Shiro on the Weaver. It's just not going to feel good. Shiro's fallen very far behind when it comes to the net worth department. And low, like you look at the net worth graph here for Azure Ray, they are just taking over the game.
And that they are. All their cores enabled here on the side of Azure. Key
Bark?
timing starting to fly out.
They want to chase down Bark at the bot lane, but Bark, he's got those spidey senses tingling. They will see him. Can they get the swap? No. Very unfortunate. Why you smile, unable to reach him. That was just pure game sense. He had no vision. He just felt that something was wrong, and Bark, he was correct.
Yeah, it's a fact that, you know, they've got this forward ward up top watching the triangle. No one's showing in lane, and no one's showing in triangle. Only logical spot was that area, and Bach does manage to read it. Smoke out from Azure Rado, trying to collapse onto top. They've got the Phylactery and Ori.
Uh-oh.
The fun begins here, Mike.
It sure does. We're about to see News HP just get lower by half HP with one Thunderbolt. In fact, they're going to go down towards the mid lane instead. They have found Setsu, but they cannot lock Setsu down. He's alright to back his way out. Lasso was on cooldown at the time for another 5 seconds, so they could not grab the Lina. So the smoke rotation will pan out to nothing. No surprise phylactery reveal here for Ori. And I think LGD are going to be very happy to avoid that that gank attempt. They really cannot afford to keep giving bodies back the way of Azure.
Yeah. Just prevent the side of Azure getting a little bit more. Good read and backing up. But still, I mean, in that time period, they're still farming up and low. Battle Fury just a recipe away. That timing's going to be really scary for the side of LGD. Like, this is going to enable a team fight into Roshan for Azure. And it's that's a timing that just, this lineup gets so scary. The tempo kicks in for the side of Azure. They're getting FY to build up stacks. He's almost at his own blink timing here as well on the Batrider. So that initiation starts to line up. Jumping the backline Lina gets easier. Pinning down the Weaver gets a lot easier as well. Shiro is actually going back for the Desolator. Which again, considering how frequently he's joining these fights, does make sense, but you will lose on farm game if you don't find those kills. Like, this Ursa will just straight up out-farm you every single time with a Battle Fury.
I mean, he's already out-farming everyone on the map anyway. This Battle Fury just going to make things even worse for LGD. There's nothing you can do about it either. Like, Lowe's just freely been farming this whole game. Tianming very good at just remaining around the Ursa, ensuring he remains protected.
They want Shiro.
Oh, Shiro, bottom lane. Curse is going to come out, locking him down into the Doom from Bark. FY around with the lasso if they need it, but they do not. Now, Azure, even against this last pick Weaver, they are finding the answers in terms of killing him off, and Tianming just always seeing the opening. Every time he has that curse available, just knowing they can secure the kill. I'll tell you, Azure, they're just looking like they're on a different level at the moment.
That they are. I love this kind of synergy in the game, you know? What the bugs hate the most, Mike? They hate the cold. You know, you've got Winter's Curse. Doesn't feel great for a little bug like Shiro right now, unfortunately. Deso timing, again, is still lining up, but his net worth is not going to be rising without these kills. He has to find them because of this build. And it does feel like the scaling damage now is going to be on Setsu. If he can start to build up on the Lina. He's forced to go for the Arcanes instead of the Traveled. He's not snowballing too hard. And considering his mid was not the smoothest, they've got the forward vision to try to play around top here. PYW just camping, watching down, but Tianming's already playing conservatively. They know everyone's missing. Again, the forward wards of the side of Azure, just telling them no one's bot. They just checked triangle. No one's there, so they're going to be ready for the counterfight.
They certainly are. Curse is back up in 3 seconds, by the way, here for Tianming, so Shiro cannot relax too much, because Shiro's running right into them right now. New looking for an RP, not going to find one quite yet. They'll silence up the Wyvern. New in the meantime has to be swapped out. Shiro's still trying for Tianming. Tianming is just walking away, though. They just can't kill the Wyvern. Everyone else is just dying around them. At least they do get low. Like, you found the Ursa, that's the big positive. Meanwhile, the lasso from FY catches PYW. Ori's going to show up. PYW should be falling. So it's a 3-for-1. You get the Ursa. That is the one saving grace for LGD.
It's a nice kill. It is costly. Like losing your Magnus again, losing your Venge. The swap angle there for Y. Not the best to find, but just wanted to get the barrier in hopes of finding some time for his Magnus to save himself. Unfortunately, not there for New. It is more difficult for the side of LGD right now to get their own jumps. Like they do need these blinks outside of just PYW. Like you need New to be able to come in with the RP. They are relatively clumped up on Azure, especially in such a tight area as that top outpost spot, but again, just not having that in time, opting for the Orchid control instead. FY just going forward a little bit, even without the lasso, wants to threaten. And Azure, they're still ready. Winter's Curse is still up on Chan Ming.
I mean, why the hell not? FY gonna see himself Shiro. Won't have lasso available at the moment. Azure gonna head through the twin gates up towards the top lane. New is trying to push in that tier 1 top tower. Low's gonna hide in the tree line waiting to see if anyone shows up there for a second, but they won't. Rest of Azure also moving up through the twin gates, so nobody gonna hang around here down to the bottom lane. Everyone just gonna leave the area, and in fact they're gonna go for Roshan. You do have an Ursa. So Roshan, pretty standard kind of play for Azure to try and go for. And I don't believe LGD will be around to try and counter this this Roshan fight. In fact, they do scan it out, but it's basically too late.
Yeah, just way too late. And that key time for Azure is online. Secondary life for Low to play with. He's had a target painted on his back. Not going to be as easy to pin down twice over now with a protection of Azure around. It will smoke up as well behind that Ursa. LGD for their part, key timings up. Desolator up on Shiro. They need to make this work. They need to find this fight.
Oh, nice vision here by Y, but it may be too late. Y going to sacrifice his life for this one. Tier 1 top tower now going to be under siege here from Azure Rays. They also get the D-wards on the high ground. It's a very tough position for LGD to try and force a fight now. They'll have to watch the Tier 1 tower go down for free. And that it will. Azure Ray still taking over this game completely with an 8k advantage. Seems like Low's even thinking about the Tier 2 top tower, but it is still a little bit early. They still have a mid-Tier 1 tower to go back for, so looks like they'll go back for that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of time for New to finish this blink up. Like, it is inching closer, only about 250 gold away. And once that's up, you should be able to start to find some ways to play, tying into PYW's blink ult. Ooh, New? Ooh.
RP is committed. Bottom lane, they've got one, at least in the form of FY, so FY going to go down, but New does not want to pay for it with his own life. Now, oh, Shiro!
Oh my god.
That is not good news. Shiro gets doomed immediately by Bark and is just down. It could have just ended with a new kill, but Shiro shows up at the last second. The save your buddy syndrome, but it obviously does not pay off.
No. He needs that Lincolns. He's queuing up now, but he doesn't have the farm pace. He needs kills to farm because of that Deso. And you can move her across camps, nice, but again, it's not as quick clearing in comparison to the Ursa.
Hello. Hello literally just ran past PYW, then blinks back towards him on the high ground, but it won't matter. PYW does make his way out. Tier 1 mid tower does end up going down. 10k advantage now for Azure Ray, and they still hold the Aegis for another 3 minutes here for Low. So if they want, they could try to go for some tier 2s. It is not too early with the Aegis.
No, definitely not. And they've got the Blink and Chan Ming. So some really big opportunities for the Winter's Curse to just ruin these team fights from LGD.
Oh.
FY again?
They do get FY, but it's probably going to cost them their tiny. PYW still alive. Eventually is going to go down. Here comes Low. He found Setsu already. The leader is gone. New's going to try for the TP play out, but no, the bash.
Oh,
the first hit bash. Always. Why you smile? Trying to get away here from Ori. Is barely walking for now, but Bark is on the chase. Meanwhile, Shiro tried to go after Ori, can do nothing about him. Why you smile? Still trying to run. Even the skeleton's now on the hunt, but why you smile? A nice little juke out. He'll be alright.
Oh man, that It's just such a mess for the side of LGD. Like, they're finding FY. Sure, he is worth a decent chunk of gold, to be fair. Like, despite going 2 for 2, losing 2 cores, you still gain 710 gold in LGD. It's something. Just not enough to drag this game back just yet. Lead is growing wider for the side of Azure as they find their free shard as well for FY. And FY is inching closer towards that Ags. So we'll have the threat of a double lasso to go off with all of the control that side of Azure has. Very reliable control here to play with. They need some saves on the side of LGD. They need this Linken's on Shiro. And they need to find an angle in for New to play with that RP blink. Like, the blink timings here on our Tiny and Magnus have not felt substantial. They've just not been able to find those openings. Low could be nice to go double down on here, but they're not fully committing to pushing top.
Low's the one chasing. They're going to try for the Ursa now. 4 heroes up top. But Low just blinks away. And you saw their hesitation. Like, LGD, they're not confident with these moves at all. Now with 3-man smoke from Azure Ray, they're going to back up Low and smoke him up to boot. Azure Ray will go through the top lane towards that Radiant Triangle where Shiro is currently farming. Oh, Shiro, he's going to break the smoke at the right moment, but they do see him with the Thunder God's Wrath, and FY is out with the lasso immediately. Now a curse flying out, catching PYW. He'll be able to blink away, but YU Small cannot.
Oh.
A nice RP though. You going to try and salvage the situation, but it's not looking good. It is not looking good. They're just still clearing them out. Low's onto Setsu. Setsu's gone. A 4-hero kill for Azure Ray. There's only one left standing, and that's PYW. It's just not even close, this game. GG.
Nah, they call it.
They should have called it.
It's a rough one for LGD. Azure Ray, just start to finish, everything
My
under
goodness.
their control. I mean, just that start, right? FY with a Flame Break setting up for them to find PYW isolated. And then it's really this bot lane that just gets absolutely hammered in by Azure Ray. There was no game there for Shiro once more. Like, this Weaver, it does hit a decent Falcon Blade.